Welcome back to another episode of In Good Company with Jeremiah Rivers and Judah McFadden.
Yeah.
How we feeling?
Feeling good.
We had a pretty great weekend.
Great weekend.
Weekend was solid. One of our great friends, Evan and Katie, got married. Woo!
They did.
It was one of the best experiences ever. And Evan was very specific about all of us being like super dialed in. Like we had his guy come to the house and fit us for tuxes. And in my mind, I was like, damn it, does it really matter? We all wear the same one. And then you get there and you see all the boys in the same tux. And seeing you in your tux, it looked great.
Weddings are fun.
And
weddings give you an excuse to like get dressed up too, which I feel like we don't do enough of, especially I think specifically in LA, probably more than any other state or any other city.
Yeah, it's like leisure.
It's so leisure. Like you go to damn near dinners in sweats here. Where like Miami, you couldn't for sure. New York, you couldn't as much. And we're in a time now where leisure is kind of king. And
Yeah.
it's like weird. And getting dressed up in a tux just feels like James Bond vibes.
It felt so good.
Yeah, it feels good.
And seeing all your boys, like you looked fantastic.
Thank you. You did
Evan
too.
looked fantastic.
Yeah.
It felt old. It felt like, dang, like
Felt like old Hollywood vibes.
it did. It felt incredible. And I think for the photos of it will look old and like they'll last forever. And looking back, like, dang, we looked great.
I feel like your personality and your energy is different in this suit. Like I just think in any situation, like not just weddings. Like
Yeah.
there's something, it emits this certain personality from you.
It's an energy.
Yeah. And I feel like that's when I go to London or I go to like Paris or I'm in these like really, especially in Europe where dressing in suits, dressing nice it's a thing. Something that like is just custom.
Yeah.
They still have that old world feeling. And I miss that. And it's not really as present in America.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I love like the Guy Ritchie movies, like The Gentleman and stuff. You know what I mean? Or Snatch, like they're dressed in like suits,
Vests and
Yeah.
it's just kind of oozing swag, like just like oozing swag. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I miss that. I've been thinking about like I want to start dressing up more, like daily.
Yeah.
Leaving the house to grab coffee, like looking a certain way.
My sister said this, and I think it's true. She goes, when you buy a suit, the opportunities will present themselves to wear it. She's like, if you have one, those things will come. Events to wear it to and stuff. They'll present themselves when you have it, which I love.
Look good, feel good, play good. I mean, obviously, it's relative to sports, but I think in anything.
Why do you think like NBA coaches don't wear suits anymore? Like all of them are wearing T-shirts or like maybe a polo with a logo on it,
Comfort.
except for Popovich. I feel like Popovich, no?
No.
Even he's done?
No, I think everyone's done.
No suits.
It's tough. I mean, it's one thing like being in an office suited up versus being on a court walking, sweating.
Yeah.
It's hot under the lights. It's just a lot of movement. You're in that thing for like 6-7 hours from like 3 p.m. when you pull up till 10 p.m., 11. Like it's just a lot, man.
You can never be overdressed or overeducated. But you do. You feel like a sore thumb if you're dressed super nice.
Yeah, now.
Because of the leisure and like lack of caring what you look like. If you wear a suit to an event and no one else is wearing one of the friends from the wedding called me and goes, Judah, what are you wearing for the rehearsal dinner?
I feel like COVID amplified leisure.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's still people in their homes from COVID, like in the same thing they wore 4 years ago.
But people will feel uncomfortable if they're like you said, overdressed.
Yeah.
One of the friends for the rehearsal dinner was like, what are you wearing? I was like, I'm wearing a 3-piece suit. He goes, oh, okay. He's like, I didn't want to be overdressed. I'm like, be overdressed. Wear the nice outfit.
I'm going to dress up to how I want to dress. It's going to be swaggy, but it's just going to be me.
Okay. Speaking of suits and old movies, I think we should pick for this episode
Yeah.
a law movie where they wear a nice suit or something. Wear a few. You could do a few.
In the Spirit of Law, My Cousin Vinny, Joe Pesci, Marissa Tomei,
And the Karate Kid.
and the Karate Kid.
What's his name? Ralph
Something. The dude doesn't age, by the way.
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
It's just a fun movie.
It's great.
I don't even remember what was happening, like in terms of like why Joe Pesci.
His cousin got in trouble and they were keeping him in that little town, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And like he's actually not a lawyer, right?
not really. He's like
Yeah.
he's kind of like a pseudo lawyer.
A wise guy.
But it's such a fun movie. And it's a
He's so
classic.
good.
It's like a cult classic too.
The suit he has in that.
Yeah.
Remember he gets like the fitted suit, right? He gets like the nice suit for going to court.
Yeah, because he'd never really had a reason to like
Yeah.
play the part until now.
And the judge is like, you can't wear that outfit in here anymore. He goes, it's the only suit I got. And then he goes and gets like the nicer one.
This is a classic
It's a
movie.
great.
Man.
It's a great movie.
What's your song of the week?
My song of the week. I was listening to it on the way over here. It's Nirvana, "Man Who Sold the World." Great song.
I don't know any
It's like a
Nirvana
lot.
songs.
No, you know Nirvana. Da-na-na, tuk-tuk-da-na.
Nope.
Where we are now, entertain us. No?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
But you know, like Kurt Cobain. You
I know
Kurt
the
Cobain
cover
is,
with the
and
naked baby in the pool. That's the only thing I know. And I know like Kurt Cobain's like the cool guy, life after death or whatever.
27
like,
Club. Yeah.
Yeah, I know everyone like idolizes Kurt Cobain, and I'm sure he's great. I don't know anything about him. Like I never listened to the music, nothing.
Well, I'm gonna have you listen to it. Man Who Sold the World by
Yeah, I'll give it
Nirvana.
I'll give it 30 seconds.
I'll give it a spin.
I've said it on previous podcasts, I just missed rock. And it's
Yeah.
hard for me to get into it now.
And this is a different era of rock too. It's not like Rolling Stones or AC/DC. It's like grunge rock, like 90s grunge.
Maybe we'll get into that.
The 90s were interesting because it was like Pearl Jam, like Seattle.
Yeah.
Same as Coffee. That's like where grunge rock started. It was like Nirvana and Temple of the Dogs and
Grunge rock and punk rock are two different things, right? Because punk rock's
Yeah.
like UK.
yeah, punk rock is UK.
Yeah.
And it was great. I mean, Billy Idol. It's a nice day for a white wedding. You never even know that song?
Mm-mm.
Really?
No, man.
Billy Idol?
No.
Did you ever see the movie with Adam Sandler where what's the movie with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore? The Wedding Singer.
Oh, the wedding singer.
Remember the guy? He's like, go get your girl, man. The guy at the end
Mm-mm.
on the plane.
I like Adam Sandler movies. I didn't love Adam Sandler movies.
Hot take.
Yeah, I never found them funny.
Too slapsticky.
Like I like Happy Gilmore a little bit. Waterboy has its moments, you know what I mean? But overall,
Too much.
I just never found him that funny. And I love Adam Sandler. Like I preferred. That's not true.
Hustle over him.
I preferred Adam Sandler's serious movies. Like my favorite Adam Sandler movies,
Punch Drunk Love.
Spanglish, Punch Drunk Love, Uncut Gems. Like those are the Adam Sandler movies I love.
Hustle was really good. I actually
Hustle's
really
great.
liked
Hustle was great. But Spanglish is probably my favorite of his.
Yeah, Spanglish is
It's such like it's a great movie. It's like a romance. I'm a romance freak, dude. I got problems.
All right.
Romance movie, just sign me up. Like I gotta write one day. I'm working on
You
it.
got
I
one.
don't know.
You got a good one, and yeah.
I got a couple good ones.
Oh,
me.
yeah.
But what's something you can't get enough of? What's your 5-star of the week?
Mine that I'm using this week, there's an artist that's a friend of ours, Austin Daniels, and he does these incredible oil paintings.
Yeah, he's creative. I love Austin
He's-
Daniels.
And what I love is he has these crazy oil paintings and gets really great images of them, and then has been putting them on stuff. So he just got a bunch of prints throughout these hotels throughout the United States. He does like coffee tables where there'll be like a light under it and it illuminates the piece of art. But he just created this lamp that will be in the Patreon, in the newsletter, and it's the coolest looking lamp ever. Because the art is circling it and then it's illuminated and the art shines. So they're really, really cool. And
I mean, I was
there's
a friend, but like locally, he's just really building his name as an artist and
yeah.
creative. And I think if anyone's watching or listening, like definitely like look into Austin Daniels.
Austin
for sure.
Daniels is incredible. There's a new studio going up in the Valley. The whole studio is his art.
No way.
Yeah, within the studio. It's all of Austin Daniels' art. His ad on Instagram is at Austin Daniels, and his art is just, I mean, here's a photo of it right here. It's just so sick. His new lamps are incredible. Like, look how cool that is.
Oh, that's fire.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can get like whatever, Ahmed, look, you can get like whatever print you want on them. I'll put the link to it so you guys can go see his lamps. They're awesome. His prints are cool.
Yeah, he's
They're-
great. He's a great artist.
They're great. They're really
Great
cool.
artist.
So what is your 5-star? What have you not been able to get enough of this week?
My 5-star is Brain Dead Studios,
Where's
which
that?
is on Fairfax in Los Angeles.
Wait, is Brain Dead the coffee place we went to?
Yeah, Brain Dead is the coffee place we went to. It's like in the alleyway, but
Hidden.
attached to it is like a movie theater. And I feel like it's a movie theater that's it provides a different experience than like corporate movie theaters.
It's not an AMC.
No, it's not AMC.
It's got more style, more heart, more vibe.
But I love AMC.
Yeah.
But you got to understand why you go to AMC and why you go to like a movie theater like Brain Dead. Like two different experiences. It's like Brain Dead's more intimate. They provide different food options, different drink options.
It's definitely more eclectic.
Kind of feels like an at-home experience, but like through a theater.
Yeah.
Which I think is
it's a
dope.
public theater that feels intimate and stylized and personal. And
Yeah, which I love. I don't feel like there's enough of those. Like I know Tarantino's bought the Vista
Vista.
Theater. He just bought another one. And then he opened up the Jackie Brown coffee shop. Like, what's it called?
what's her name in that movie?
Pam.
Pam.
It's called Pam's Coffee. And like, that's fun. Like that's an
Yeah.
experience I want when I go to a movie theater. I think that's like the new wave of movie theaters.
Does Brain Dead play old movies too? Or is it just like they play like new stuff?
Old movies as well, man.
Really?
Yeah, which I think is awesome. Like there's like a nostalgia to old movies, and I think going there, like, you feel it.
And what show do they have, like matinees or?
Yeah, matinees and then and night times.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've had the coffee. The coffee was fantastic.
Like getting
so.
a group of friends going. It's fun.
Our guest today is a lawyer practicing here in California in Los Angeles. She has gained a pretty good following on TikTok, talking about current events and pop culture stuff with a legal background. So I'm super excited to ask her some of the things I've been wondering.
Some hot topics going on right now in the world.
Great topics.
And things that have just happened like culturally over like years and years that I'm interested to get her take on.
Yeah, it's nice that like she actually has a law degree compared to everyone online thinks they know everything. So.
I mean, with all the documentaries on Netflix, there's like so much to like dive into. I think so many people are interested in crime in general. And I think it's a good switch up for us to have a guest who can help educate us. And this is the first guest we've had on that we don't know.
Neither of us know her.
Yeah, we don't know her, and I think it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Our guest today is lawyer Limor.
Well, thank you for coming in your Gucci slippers.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, I like the swag.
Yeah,
Oh, thank
you
you.
for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, you guys.
So where did you go to law school?
So I went to Southwestern Law School. It's a law school in Koreatown in LA. I was basically born and raised in LA. And I chose that school because I knew I wanted to practice in LA. So during law school, you want to make sure you network and you meet people who you potentially could work with. So I chose to go to an LA law school.
And you know you wanted to go into like the entertainment law?
You know what's so funny? I wanted to go into entertainment law before I entered law school. That was my whole thing. Like, that's what I wanted to do. And then I started law school and I realized, oh my God, the kids in these classes are disgusting. Their egos are horrible. They think they're the celebrity. Like, I could never work with these people.
Like law students?
Yes.
Wow.
Like, they thought they were the celebrities and it rubbed me the wrong way. So
I mean, you see it locally, like on the billboards.
Oh God, don't.
There are so many. We were driving yesterday.
For people who don't know, who don't live in Los Angeles, for context, if you come to LA, you will see the craziest billboards of lawyers, like just
every single
it's,
billboard.
And I know it's like a national thing, but like they're even more eccentric here because it's like literally all about them.
It's all about them. And it's so funny because those are the personal injury attorneys. Okay? Those are the personal injury guys. So they have nothing to do with, in that line of work, the personal injury attorney who is front facing is usually not really doing anything. No offense to them.
It's like a name on.
It's literally just a name because in personal injury, it's kind of like an assembly line of stuff that's happening. It's like you get the case and then you have case managers doing everything. But you guys are right because we have the Who Hurt You, we have the Jacob Emrani.
Who's the guy that's on everything? He's at the Clipper game. He's on
That's Jacob.
Paul Jacob.
Jacob is on every
Biggest
game.
Laker fan in the world.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
yes, he is
I saw
everywhere.
the other day it was like upside down billboard. It was
Yeah.
like injured. It's like, what
You
is
know
it?
what? That
if your
one?
car's upside down, you're
I'll
supposed to
give
be able
him
to read
that
it?
one. It's really funny.
actually, so my
That one's a good one.
my close family friend, they have the biggest injury law firm in the country,
And what is that?
Morgan and Morgan.
Oh yeah.
So those-
Morgan and
I grew
Morgan's
up
like
with
an
them.
eight. Yeah.
You know Morgan.
Those are my people. But to be fair, they are hilarious. Their
I like that.
commercials are hilarious, and the dad is like a trailblazing, just badass, honestly. Like Mr. Morgan, like the OG Morgan. Like if you ever go to his
Mr.
Instagram,
Morgan.
he has this bit about Arby's and how he's like, who the fuck goes to Arby's? He goes like, I've never seen anybody at Arby's. He goes, I am convinced it is like a laundering money scheme. And like the whole thing is like, it's the funniest thing.
He's probably right.
And then Arby's sponsored him.
Oh my God, genius.
And they gave him like a
Genius.
full meat suit, like hoodie, pants. It's like the funniest
meat
bit.
suit?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you guys. It's the best.
I love that. See, when
We
they have
have the meats.
personality, yeah, when they have personality, like, go for it. Good. I take everything back that I said about them. Like, Mr. Morgan, yes, you're it.
Shout out to my dog Matt Morgan.
Yeah,
That's my
there we
boy.
go.
So you knew you wanted to go into entertainment law.
So I initially did. Then I met these kids and I wanted nothing to do with that industry. And I kind of threw myself into family law work. So I was very interested in family law because my background as a Persian Jew, no one gets divorced. Okay. No one in the Persian Jewish community gets divorced. If they do, it's very hush hush. So to me, that was kind of attractive. I'm like, what is going on with people getting divorced? Because the friends that I knew growing up, they would, during lunch hour, they were calling their dad who lived in Boston, right? And their parents were separated. So they had their phone calls. And I would go to their houses and I'm like, oh my God, life is so fun. Like my friend just lives with her mom and everything's great because, and I'm so sorry to say this, but it is fucking true. A lot of people in the Persian Jewish community should be divorced, okay? They're just
I was going to say, I was
not.
like, some unhappy marriages. Or
Yeah, which is everywhere, right? It's everywhere.
I mean,
But
divorce costs so much bread.
It costs a lot of money. That's the reason a lot of people don't go through with it. It's cheaper to keep her. And the thing is, they don't.
Cheaper to keep her is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
There we
That's
go.
crazy.
He's
Dave
still
Portnoy
with,
will
what's
not
her
get
name? Renee
divorced.
for like 15 years. Like, what is?
I heard about that.
And he's
What
like,
is
we're
going
not gonna-
on?
He's like, I pay her and we're good.
And they're good.
If you have that mutual like understanding between you and your significant other, like it works, I guess. I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
Cheaper to keep her. That's
Cheaper to keep her.
Is that
Or
like
cheaper to
is
keep
that
him.
Is she ready?
Yeah.
There we go. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So once I put myself into those classes, once I started taking the community property classes and learning more about family law and volunteering, I knew like this is what I'm doing. So basically now what I do and what I've done for the past 11 years is exclusively family law. So it's divorces, domestic violence restraining orders, attorney fees, division of assets, all of that, prenups, all that stuff. And what I've done online with my platform, Lawyer Limor, is I've really leaned into the celebrity part of all of that, right? So when celebrities are getting divorced or things are going on with them that have something to do with relationships, that's when I do deep dives on those kinds of
And when did that
kind of
start for
content.
you? Lori Limor, the whole social media side of things for you, when did that start to like really build? COVID?
Yeah, in COVID, I posted a lot of political content. And now looking back at it, I realized I was so upset. Like during COVID, I was just so mad at the state of the world. And a lot of my content was political content, which is totally fine. I don't mind having that stuff out there, but it wasn't giving me the audience that I wanted. And so I think the first time that I really started gaining a lot of traction was Kelly Clarkson's divorce. I started posting about it because the numbers that were going on in that divorce, because she has so much money.
Well, like, what kind of numbers are we talking? Like
We're
hundreds of
talking
millions?
$65,000 a month for child support. We're talking
So cheaper to keep
millions-
him in that situation.
Cheaper to keep him in that situation.
'Cause she had all the money. Her husband.
So
didn't.
Kelly Clarkson, we're new to this. How long ago was this?
This was about 2022, maybe
So
2021.
Kelly Clarkson has
She's a
been
singer,
paying-
right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about Kelly's divorce and why it got so insane was that she was married to her manager,
Oh, wow.
right? So
Not good.
not good, because then you're going through the regular division of everything that you would see in a regular divorce. And on top of that, you're also dealing with this business, right? They had civil actions going on during the entirety of the divorce too, because he claimed he didn't get paid for certain things. And she claimed, well, he wasn't my manager for this. He was for that.
Your manager, he's already getting 20% of probably
Yeah.
most of it, and he knows how much money's coming in, and he just smacked her with $65K a month.
That's crazy. Like you are getting 20% of what your wife. That's
What is 65K a month, like over 12 months? What is that number?
The support that he was getting, I think between child support and spousal support, he was getting over $1 million a year.
Oh, wow.
It was something maybe even more than some.
Is that
it was-
forever? Is that-
It was. It's a great question. So spousal support has an end date for them. I think it was half the duration of the marriage, something like that. But the child support goes on and on till the last kid is 18, right? It might decrease at a certain point, but what people really went crazy over was that this man was seeing his kids like one weekend a month.
Wow.
And getting paid that much money to take care of them while living at a ranch that she had bought during the marriage that was allegedly community property, but they also had a prenup, so it wasn't really community property. So people just shit on him because I think it's also...
She's a shithead. Sounds like he's not a great guy.
Yeah, so his last name is Blackstock, and I would call him Waxstock, right? So I always come up with
Waxstock.
these names, and people love that because no one was really even on TikTok or Instagram actually talking about the details of these types of divorces. They
Does he
weren't
get
really
$1 million
going in.
a year on top of getting half of her money when they get divorced?
So, because they had a prenup and they fought it out, the judge determined that the prenup was valid, right?
But
So he
anything she
didn't
makes
get
within the
half.
marriage, right?
Say that again?
Anything she makes within the marriage, right?
Was
Is
separate.
outside of the prenup.
No.
Really?
No. The whole point of the prenup is to control what happens during the marriage with your assets.
So if you have a prenup, even if maybe I'm wrong on this, I thought everything you make, like say me and Jeremiah got married, anything he had before, cool, is his. Anything that he made within it, we share. Is that not?
Not with a prenup.
Not with
Really?
a prenup. That is the California prenup. So when you don't have a prenup, whatever state you reside in, whatever state you're getting married in, the laws of that state are your prenup. So by default, what you just said is correct when it comes to California. Because community property, we divide it in half. What's mine is yours, all that shit. But when you have a prenup, you're trying to curate your own division of assets should you get divorced one day.
So the whole thing about getting divorced versus just like not getting divorced, what states should you not get divorced in? I feel like California, I hear California is just like, yo, just don't even get divorced. 'Cause I feel like that's why a lot of people probably, like even in your community, just decide to, we'll just separate and not go through that process.
Yeah.
What states are like, I guess, the harshest for people going through divorce, especially if you're the sole provider or you're the biggest financial.
Yeah, if you're the breadwinner.
If you're the breadwinner,
so
right.
For a lot of people, they just think the breadwinner is the man. That's the default. That was why the Kelly Clarkson divorce was a big deal, because we have the woman making all this money and she has to pay the guy. So a lot of people couldn't wrap their heads around it. So the state that I would say is the most difficult, and remember, I practice in California, so I have heard that Texas is cuckoo, because California, we're a no-fault state, okay? You cheat, doesn't matter. No difference in the way we divide anything.
It's not for the sunshine.
But in Texas, if you can prove that one side cheated on the other, if there was any infidelity, there is a different division of assets because it's a fault state. Yeah.
So fault state versus non-fault state.
That's kind of sick, though.
No.
Your wife cheats on you?
Well, so it gets really dirty, because I've heard what people do is they will kind of trick their significant other into starting an affair. They'll have a PI on them to take video so they have evidence of it, right? And they'll show that as proof of, like, you fucking cheated on me, so you shouldn't get whatever portion of the asset.
So someone who's
Like
already
premeditative, sorry.
someone who's already unhappy in a marriage will premeditate their partner being safe.
They set him up.
They set him up.
Set
They
up.
set him up. Yep.
That is so dark.
Yeah, it's so dark. It's so bad.
If I went to court and I'd be like, hey, listen, Your Honor, she set up a private investigator 7 months ago. Yeah, how is that not malicious?
You're just a bad person at that point.
Like,
Yeah,
just tell
you're
me you don't want
bad.
to be with me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you guys say that. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
That's
People do it
crazy.
all the time.
Prenup or no prenup for you?
Breathe. Breathe.
Man, I want to have this confidence of the person I marry is the person I marry,
That's never going to happen.
but shit happens.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. Because your dad is Doc Rivers, you're going to have a prenup. Whether you want it or not, you're going to have a prenup.
Can't take the family home.
Yeah, because it's
Seriously? Okay, imagine
family
if you got married.
homes.
Imagine
Yeah.
if you got married and then in 20 years, your wife is like, actually, I want the one in Orlando. You'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Nah, I'm calling the military or something.
I'm calling
He's calling the PI.
Yeah, I was going to say you're calling the PI. You've been tailed for the last 8 months.
I'm outsourcing some like country cowboys from Texas, like, yo, pull up with the AKs. Like, this house is not being taken. We're standing our ground.
You're paying like the most handsome guys in the world to hit on her just with the PI.
I'm setting her up.
You
I'm
see?
setting her up.
You're already thinking
Listen,
that
Chris
way.
Hemsworth, I got $100,000 with your name on it. I
Shit,
just
Glenn
need you to-
Powell, hey buddy, like,
I need you to have sex with my wife. And I need that. There's going to be a camera.
Yep.
and can you record it?
Yep.
I mean, prenup.
Yeah.
Man, isn't it sad? Like, don't you want to just like believe that you could just?
You want to, but once you're getting married, it's kind of like
It's business.
it's business.
Marriage
and,
is a business, right?
And you are adults, right? It's not romantic to talk about a prenup.
Yeah, it's not the fairy tale.
But it's the reality.
It's the reality.
It's like
But
getting
also-
health insurance. It's
Yes.
like, it's a business.
Yes.
If you really, really love someone from a girl's side or a guy's side, why wouldn't you sign it?
Oof. That's right.
I want to be with you. I don't care about that stuff. Oh, yeah, I'll sign your prenup.
Oh, fair.
I don't care about that. If someone's like, oh my God, we're not going to be together because you're making me sign this, like, cool. Why? Our friend just got married. Didn't even think about signing it. Just signed it. Why? Because he loves her.
Yeah.
And he's not with her for that.
I hope you read it.
He did. He had someone look it over, but when he was asked to sign it, he was like, yeah, okay, I don't
No
care.
qualms.
Because I love you. If he was like, dang, wait a minute. So if anything happens and I don't get half, I'm going to like contemplate our relationship. That's
I know a lot of
shady on-
athletes, like especially in the athlete world, like culturally, it's we want prenup, we want prenup. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
What's
thing.
that song is that?
It's Kanye.
Kanye West.
Kanye.
Oh my God, come
We
on.
want prenup.
Yeah, what does the Kim K Kanye divorce look like?
Oh,
Yeah.
Is
so-
that even like? Do they
That's
actually get
billions.
divorced like legally?
Yes, they're legally divorced.
That's two
and
rich people coming together.
There we go. But if you look at their prenup, so obviously they had a prenup, but if you look at the prenup, Kim Kardashian was to pay Kanye West $20,000 a month in spousal support based on their prenup, right? Because you don't have to sign the prenup that comes to you. You get to negotiate it, right? So that was
negotiating is crazy. It's like negotiating. Listen, no. I'm gonna need 30K.
yeah,
That's crazy.
Someone like
literally what you do.
Kanye, like, what's the point? Why does he need the 20K?
Well, so when they got married, and I forget what year it was, but maybe it was like 2013, somewhere around there. They are looking at the assets at that moment, right? So there were a lot of rumors that at that time, Kanye was actually almost bankrupt and she had to pay a lot of his outstanding dues to whoever it was,
Well,
right? Like he was
wasn't
broke or
Adidas
something.
breaded?
No, not then.
Really?
No, that came after.
Yeah, he was like investing in his future, and he was just going broke doing it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Exactly right.
2013?
Yeah, and then he got all his bread from all the money he had spent and finally came back around, but it took time.
But all that is outside of the prenup.
No, they included that. So you can include anything that I make for the duration of this marriage is my separate property. So instead of agreeing that everything is community, you say that everything is separate. You keep everything separate. So that's basically what they did. But what happened? They also had kids, right? And they didn't have just one kid. How many kids do they have? 4 kids?
They got north, south, east, west or something.
Okay. So
Right?
I think you're right.
Right?
I think that's right.
They got they got at least 4.
They have at least 4,
Yeah.
right? And there's a Chicago in there somewhere, I think.
Yeah,
Is it really? They have a kid named Chicago?
Yeah, she's so pretty. She looks like a
Yeah.
little
They
kid.
have beautiful
She's
kids.
they
Oh,
have
good name.
beautiful children.
Yeah.
They have beautiful children. And so you cannot put in your prenup child support. And also, at the time that they're getting divorced, now we just have 2 billionaires, right?
Yeah.
We don't have anyone needing spousal support from the other person.
You
Okay.
got Skims, you got her. I mean, she's just building.
Easy. I mean, both of them are, they're both billionaires, right?
Billionaires,
breaded.
billionaires, right? And they can continue to make billions of dollars. They don't need help from one another. So spousal support out the window. They wrote it in there, but they don't need it at this point, right? So,
And neither of them are fighting for that.
well, okay, that's a good question. So
That's what I'm saying.
what
Even though
happened?
like they don't need it, she could be like, I do want that.
Yes.
Especially
so-
when like ego's involved. You're
That's
just
what I'm
like,
saying. It's
So-
not you're
Or
not
you're hurt.
You're not thinking clearly. You're hurt.
Wow.
Yeah, County, I do want that $60K a month just because I want it.
just to stick it.
Just
Yep.
to
to
stick
the other
it to 'em.
person.
Yep. So imagine this. They're signing their prenups. They're both really famous at this point, right? They may not be billionaires, but they're still Kanye and Kim. Like when Kim got pregnant, the world went crazy, right? So at this point, you're looking at 2 people who probably had the most high power attorneys drafting and reviewing this prenup, right? So when you're talking about ironclad prenup, Kim and Kanye had that, okay?
Just soundproof.
It's totally like you are not doing shit to this prenup, okay? It's over. Now, like you said, just to fuck with Kim, Kanye disputed the validity of this prenup.
He would do that.
He would fucking
was
do
hurt.
that. He
Yeah.
would do that. But think about this. You didn't have money then. You do have money now. Why wouldn't you want this prenup to be valid? Like, what is going on in your head? But this guy really dragged her through the mud for fucking nothing. That prenup is valid. What do you guys want to do now? It would be ridiculous if either of you took any assets from the other. Like,
And how much are those legal fees? Millions?
Oh my god.
Millions of dollars of legal fees?
How do you keep your privacy if you're a big time celeb? Is it possible? Do you have
In
to
a
go
divorce?
To, you have to go to like a really small court. You have to hire like I'm sure all the lawyers sign NDAs, but just regardless it leaks. How do you keep privacy?
yeah, very good question. So with attorneys, we have attorney-client privilege. So we can't open our mouths about who our clients are, what they're doing. NDA, no NDA. We just can't do it because we're their attorneys, right?
You can't even say they're a client.
We can't even say they're a client unless they allow us to do that. Okay. But divorces are public record. Okay. So back in the day when we didn't have e-filing in the LA County Court, and most of these filings are in LA County. Yes.
I don't go ahead.
No, tell me.
I know people who will drive outside of LA County. Or,
Oh, to file.
they'll file in the smallest, most random court that nobody's ever fucking heard of where nobody's looking. I know that's a thing.
It's a thing.
Okay.
It's a thing. Now, the LA County, so it's all by jurisdiction. You can't file just anywhere you want, but LA County does have small branch courts. So it's the LA County court, but we have tons of them, right? So you can file in Chatsworth and no one's at the filing window. But what used to happen is a lot of these attorney services that would have the runners take the paperwork to file it at the window, they would be like this with like TMZ and
Yeah.
all the news outlets. So once they got the filings, okay, they would look at the names, take a picture, send it off. We had filings.
Is that illegal?
Yeah.
They just got away with
Here's
it.
the thing. I'll tell you this. It is not illegal because it's public record. Is it unethical?
Unethical.
Yes. This is your work. We need you to go file this. Why are you sending our shit to someone else? Like, it doesn't.
Shady.
It's really shady. And they would get gift cards from law firms. Sometimes the law firm wants the info out that they're the attorney of record. So they'll give it to the runner. And before the filing goes through, it's on TMZ.
Yeah, as a lawyer, like if you represent Kanye, that gets you more clients.
Yeah.
if that's public knowledge.
Yeah.
I miss
Yeah.
Kanye. I miss the Kanye days.
So since we decided we wanted to have you on, and then you being here today, that video came out of Diddy just straight whacking his,
Yeah.
who was that, his ex-girlfriend?
Yeah.
Cassie.
I mean, that was what, 10 years ago or 8 years ago?
It was about 8 years ago. So that
Can
was
you-
2016.
Video like that resurfaces, that's old. Can you be tried when the video comes out?
So the Diddy case is an interesting one because Diddy is a piece of shit, okay? And if you have a brain, you've known that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's public knowledge.
Everyone
Right.
knew, but
He's powerful. When you're powerful, when
And he's
you have
dangerous.
money.
Like motherfuckers is like, no, he's dangerous.
tell them, what's the story with Kid Cudi?
I used to work in music management.
Oh,
And so-
okay, we're listening.
I
ahead.
was told. I remember being told this like 5-6 years ago. Back when Cassie and Diddy had went on a break. Mm-hmm. So this is pretty relatively fresh at the time. They're like, oh no, Diddy's crazy. He sent Cudi a warning and blew up his car. And I was like, no way. Like, you know, it's just like folklore that you hear. It's just like stories that you hear in the industry. 99% of them probably not true. So the Diddy allegation and what was being told to me, I was like, nah, ain't no way. And then when I saw it, when like Cassie mentioned it in the court document that she filed, I was like, yo, like,
He blew up his car.
Diddy really blew up this dude's car.
Because he flirted with
That's
Cassie.
that's a movie thing. That's something Al Capone did in the 1940s.
I was told it was way more than flirted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
still, you're on-
And
you're
I don't know
not
if that's
together.
true. Obviously,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, yeah.
Allegedly, everything's alleged.
Everything's alleged.
Say,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was told that it was like they were full on having a fling in this little intermission between Diddy and Cassie were having, and Diddy was like, "Oh hell no."
I'm gonna blow up your hell not like a phone call, not blow your car up.
In Diddy's world, it's blow your car up.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And this guy's just walking around, going to parties and hosting events and yacht things and
The white party, all that. So now we have people talking about Diddy again, right? Because first we have the Kid Cudi stuff. Cassie comes out with her lawsuit that is settled in a record time. I mean, the very next day it was settled, right?
Undisclosed amount.
Undisclosed amount. I tried to find out how much it was.
I'm assuming it's like 9 figures.
Yeah, probably. I mean, probably. I've heard 30 million.
You heard 30.
I heard 30.
I
but-
thought it was gonna be like 100.
100. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. She was alleging sex trafficking, assault, all this shit. The fact that he let her file the suit is mind blowing.
Wait, what do you mean? The fact that he let her?
Because you have to imagine that with celebrities, it's not just, oh, you're served and you're shocked that someone has sued you,
Yeah.
right? People don't want this shit out, especially women. No one believes us, right? Until you see the videos, right?
Yeah.
So you have to imagine that this woman who had a decade-long relationship with this guy, she was 21 when she started dating Diddy.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine that she first came to him with her lawyers like, listen, here are the allegations. We have evidence for all of this, okay? Let's sit down and let's try to settle this so we don't file it and blow up your career, right? And so we don't go to court, because going to court is a whole other ball game, okay? Once you go to court, that's when you're hitting the millions in attorney fees,
Yeah.
right? So kind of doing him a solid, I imagine that they had a lot of time between the time she actually filed the suit and prior to that trying to talk to him through attorneys so that she doesn't file the suit.
Well, there's probably two things that happen in my imagination. And you correct me if I'm wrong, or feel free to chime in. One, the abuse that she endured. She said, fuck even giving him the benefit of the doubt of saving face. We're serving him. Or his ego and pride was so big, he's like, you're actually really not going to do it. You know, I can drown you on lawyer fees. I can threaten her. It'll never come out. And she was like, no, like, I'm pushing through regardless of your idle threats, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to have to actually kill me type shit, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those two scenarios.
It's one of the two. It's one of the two. You're completely right, because there is something about when someone does you wrong, you want to stick it to them, right? And you want them to be held accountable. This man has never been held accountable. So it could have just been, you know what? He's fucked with me so hard. Let's file this. And as soon as he sees it, he's like, oh my God, let's settle. What the fuck is this? Right? So it could have been either
when
one of
they
those
when they
things.
settle, can he not go get arrested for any of the stuff they settle about? Like, you beat me up, you did this, but when she signs that, can he not legally be prosecuted because of a settlement?
Very good question. So Cassie bringing a suit is a civil suit. So she's looking for monetary awards. She's looking for him to stay away from her, stuff like that. Then you have the DA, the district attorney, who can charge him criminally, and Cassie can be a key witness. So what's happening now and what a lot of people are questioning is we have a video of Diddy assaulting Cassie. Why isn't he in jail?
That's what my mind is going. I'm like, why is he not in jail right now?
Is the video admissible now?
Okay, great question. So it would be admissible depending on what he's being tried for, okay? Now, here's the problem. That happened in 2016, okay? We have statute of limitations for how long you have, like a window of time where you can complain or file suit against someone criminally for X, Y, and
Prosecute
Z.
them. Essentially. How long is that window?
Yeah, so I think again, I practice family law, but I'm pretty sure it's 1 year for assault and 3 years for aggravated assault.
1 year?
1 year?
Yeah, you have a 1 year timeline to file the suit. It's going to take longer than that.
That doesn't seem fair.
That doesn't seem fair at all.
Okay. After seeing that video, is the hotel obligated to send that to law enforcement, or is it almost like they have to protect their, like it's private?
Or do you think Diddy was like, I know you have this. Here's, $400,000.
Yeah. Did he go down with his little towel like,
You know what I mean?
So, can I see the video last 15 minutes?
What's interesting is there's just no way in hell hotels keep their videos for that long.
Mm-hmm.
That came out in 2016, that video. There's no way like Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, like someone was like, I'm going to save this for a rainy day.
No, their data probably lasts 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Someone's like, I'm going to get paid off of this when the time is right, and the time is right. They probably got a fat 6-figure, maybe 7-figure check for that.
But they probably got paid off initially to not.
Right.
Oh, so double dip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what they're saying is, so it was at the Intercontinental in Century City, which Drake would never stay at. We all know that. And what happened was that allegedly, right after it happened, Diddy went and got the video, paid someone off. They say $50,000. What do we know?
Some random dude in a little
in the
booth
security
is
bank.
Like, yeah, dude, $50K. It sounds great. My life's changed.
Yeah, because what's the alternative for that person?
Get killed.
There we go.
I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't give me that tape.
Yeah, and no one's gonna be prosecuted for your death. It's gonna look like a suicide probably.
Or get fired. Because
That's
Diddy
exactly right.
would apply so much pressure to that hotel. Intercontinental, I'm P. Diddy, I'm worth $1 billion plus, I got power, I got connections. I mean, he probably calls a couple people. They're calling the top heads at Intercontinental.
The owners.
And all of a sudden that guy's gone.
Mm-hmm. And who's going to stay there again? All these celebrities are shady as fuck. Who's going to stay there again? You guys handed over this video of him having a fight with his girlfriend. That's personal, right? These are people who are not even seeing the video yet, but they hear, right, potentially that Intercontinental turned over a video that got, Diddy in trouble. They're not going to do that.
Also appalled he's staying in the Intercontinental.
I know, right? But listen, the Intercontinental in Century City,
hotel?
It's in Century City. It is a nice hotel. It is a nice hotel.
Really?
It is. It's basically across like CAA and Century City Mall.
Wait, I thought that was the Fairmont.
So that's the Fairmont. Next to it is Intercontinental.
But like,
good job, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure it's nice.
Good job, yeah.
But like, there's like 8 other hotels in LA that are nicer. This is a very strange.
Why are they at a hotel when they live here?
Good question. I think there was an award show or something. So they were at the hotel for whatever reason. I mean, people
I'm always
in
down
LA,
for a staycation.
Yeah, people in LA, if someone's paying for their hotel stay, right, and bring the hair and makeup here and we'll do an interview there and we'll do this, they'd rather be in a hotel instead of having all those people come to their home.
So with the timeline of all of these things, he's been accused of so many things throughout the years.
Yeah.
Why is it all coming to a head right now? Why was this not 5 years ago? And
The civil suit is what brought all this to light.
when did that happen?
It shined like a light on it.
Yeah, so Cassie's suit, which was November, December.
Oh, very recently.
Yeah.
Very recently.
Yeah.
So Cassie's suit gets settled in record time. Then we have all of these women coming out and saying, I was trafficked by Diddy. I was this with Diddy. People coming out saying he assaulted me, he abused me, he did this, he did that. People now alleging that he had something to do with Kim Porter's death, which really I want to cry over that because I don't know and we don't know and we'll never know, but very fucking sad. Then you see, this goes away for a week or two, I would say, maybe a month.
But how does that just go away?
Yeah, well, people are
You know
just
what I mean?
kind of they talk about one thing, they talk about the next thing, they get over it, they fight for something, they forget about it the next day, right? It's just the way pop culture goes. But then we have this guy, Rodney Jones, who is this producer, prodigy, who's invited by Diddy to be part of his writer's camp for the Love album. Okay. So this guy is like, oh my God, my life is fucking made. I'm about to go to a writer's camp for Diddy.
Yeah.
This guy eventually files suit, which is what opens up everything again. Part of his suit, what he says in the very beginning, this is a 73-page fucking complaint with pictures and evidence. Everything is in there. What this man says is, it was the worst time of my life. He knew Diddy for like 6 to 8 months. And he's like, it was the worst time of my life. I've never been so traumatized, assaulted, all these things. Now, why did people even go crazy? Because I don't know who Rodney Jones is, right? Not a name that really does anything. But in that complaint is when we see the pictures of Stevie J with some white guy, and they're doing shit. And that's when 50 Cent comes out and he's like, man, I knew you guys were all gay. Look at these pictures. Shit, Diddy was doing this. These guys were doing that.
There's photos of it.
There's photos of Stevie J with some white guy. It's very blurry, right? But it's part of this suit because allegedly Diddy was telling this guy, like, we all do it. You should just like come hang out with us and do this stuff with us too. And this guy idolized Stevie J. So Diddy was like, yo, here's a picture of him with a white guy in bed doing shit. Like, your idol does that.
But like, where is the legality, like, misstep with that? Because it just feels like they're just.
But it's manipulative,
He's
but not illegal.
grooming. He's grooming. That's the accusation, the allegation. He is grooming this guy to convince him to also engage in these acts. And it goes so much further.
Is that illegal? These are things I don't understand.
So the grooming part is illegal, and it's part of the criminality that goes hand in hand with the assaults, with alleged groping. There's so much shit in this complaint.
That is so dark.
What
and
is
gnarly.
grooming? Like, is that being like you just suggesting them? Like, how do you have, is grooming like having power over somebody?
Slowly convincing
Yes.
them that these things are normal, and then they do it.
But
Yeah,
don't-
but
is it-
using your power over someone who is less powerful than you, okay, to kind of prep them to do eventually what you want them to
Like,
do,
think
which
about
is
if you're
illegal.
grooming a player to be a coach. You're gonna have them sit down with you. You're gonna teach them these things. You're like teaching them these things so that one day they could be a head coach. He's grooming them to fuck them.
Yeah, you hear a lot about grooming when it comes to underage situations, right? When someone is of age and they're trying to have
If you have something that
interactions.
the other person wants, you can leverage that
Yes,
to groom them.
yes,
I get it.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it goes a lot further than the suggesting. It's
Yeah, because if
exactly
you're just
what you do.
suggesting, I can make up my own mind on what I want to do or not do. Like, ain't no matter how much convincing you're gonna like try to get me to go fuck this person or that person. Like, I'll make my own decision.
But a lot of those people don't have that.
No, but if you have power over me, if you have something I want,
Yes.
then like I could see if you're in a weaker position or in a compromised position financially, or you want to like get
Career-wise.
ahead in life, as you're like, shit, like, all right, like
Yeah,
I gotta
Puff
do
Daddy
this to
said-
like, which is like Harvey Weinstein. I mean, this goes down
Exactly,
like
exactly.
It's a known thing.
It is dark.
It's real dark.
Yeah, and remember, so when that screenshot came out, you have so part of the lawsuit, you kind of have to laugh because 50 Cent turns it into this like joke, because in the lawsuit they describe certain people. So they say there was also this man who was a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, who engaged in X, Y, and Z.
Whoa.
Who's that?
Meek Mill.
Meek Mill.
There we go. Then another one, an R&B artist who was in his prime when he was 16 and now has had a very successful Las Vegas residency. Usher.
By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen his Las Vegas residency. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't
Wait,
doubt
so
it.
what is he saying? What?
I don't
it
doubt
was the
it.
best thing.
Wait, what were
ever.
the allegations about Usher though?
Well, so there's no allegations against him, but the reason it's part of it is because he's explaining what stories Diddy would tell him to
like he
convince him
groomed
to
Usher,
also
essentially.
engage. Well, yeah, so the insinuation is they also engaged in acts like this.
I've been to 2 Diddy parties.
And how are you doing?
I'm great.
Okay. okay.
I saw a video the other day of a yacht party that he had,
Yeah.
and he's literally going around with a bag, taking everyone's phones, takes the bag, puts it in a car, and the car leaves. Why the fuck do you need to do that? Why is he taking everyone's phones, putting them in a car, sending the car off, and then having a yacht party? What are you doing to where no one can have a phone?
there's
That
probably-
is shady.
There's probably levels to Diddy parties, right? Like,
Okay, you tell us the levels and the ones that you've been to, because you should not cut that out.
I don't want my guy to die.
How were they? How were they?
I mean, I just went to like industry event parties, like Grammy parties that
Yeah.
he would have. So it was like hundreds of
Yeah.
people. So it was a very normal I met Stevie Wonder. I met Quincy Jones. Like it was
Amazing.
it was a blast. I was out by 1:30, 2 a.m. Like very normal, like dope ass house party in Holmby Hills.
Yeah.
I don't know what his private parties are
I was
like.
gonna say I wouldn't want to go to a small gathering. I want people around.
Yeah,
You want people
I was
around,
invited
yeah.
with friends, so I wasn't alone. I was with homies that knew him or worked for a big music company where they had a certain amount of invites. Like, so it was very normal. Like, it's one of those things where I think when you're in LA, you get invited to one of those celebrity house parties, and they can be amazing.
And who wouldn't want to go to
In
a
and
puff
Out
party
was
party?
there.
Listen,
you
you
know?
guys,
wouldn't wanna go to
when
that?
we were younger and the times of like TRL and all of that, like
Yeah.
everyone heard of Diddy's white parties. Everyone heard about his white parties, and who
Yeah.
didn't want to go? That's exactly fucking right. And I think it's really important to actually point out that not everyone that's going to Diddy parties is complicit in this bullshit. These are accusations against Diddy.
Oh, yeah, of
right?
course,
With his
yeah.
inner circle and all of that. So I think a lot of people, when you read the comments, because he also released an apology video.
I saw
but-
that.
Oh my God.
When you
A
read
little
the
late, my guy.
comments, yeah, but when you read the comments, some people are like, you guys have never done anything horrible. Forgive this man. I'm sorry. He's
Unforgivable.
beating her up.
Yeah.
That's unforgivable. And I think he's not apologizing because he's sorry. He's apologizing because he got caught.
There
Those
we
are
go.
different
For sure.
reasons to
For
apologize.
sure. I remember like there was an instance we were at some type of Grammy party or something, and it was like packed, and then like there was like less and less people as like the night was going on. And I remember him like stopping the party, and then he was saying like, I still remember it, like I don't know why. And he was like, if you really want to party, he goes, we're all going to this like room. I remember looking at my homie, I was like, what does that even mean? And my boy looked at me and goes, well, we're not staying around to find out.
There we go. There we go. That's the right answer.
I didn't know any better. I had like just moved here. So I was just like, all right, like,
What does that mean?
That's
I don't
right.
know, but we're leaving.
thank God I
leaving.
didn't like stumble in there. Like, what's going on, guys? Like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
God, imagine what you would have witnessed.
Who knows?
Okay, is Diddy up there with the one that the big dog who actually?
Suge Knight?
Yeah, is Diddy up there with Suge Knight? Like, did he kill Tupac?
I don't have any information.
In my opinion, Diddy killed everyone. Okay, I'm to a point where if you read this complaint, he has people who are so connected with LAPD, NYPD. I mean, his son and him are shooting his son's friend in a bathroom. LAPD sees it. The evidence is right there.
Wait,
This guy, Rodney Jones, sees this. LAPD comes, they look around, they investigate. They're like, okay. They hang out for like an hour. When they leave,
Suicide?
the story is there was a shooting outside of the studio. It was random. It was a drive-by. That's the story.
Wait, who got killed?
Wait. Reverse. I don't know anything about this.
Me either.
So
Yeah.
you're saying that not too long ago, Diddy and his son shot somebody?
He did not die. Okay. So one of the allegations is Rodney Jones is saying in his complaint, right? This is all about the Rodney Jones complaint and the fact that
Which son, by the way?
Justin. Okay. Not
This
the one
dude
that looks
witnessed all
exactly
this
like
stuff in
him.
6 months.
He witnessed so much shit.
In 6 months.
There are
20
allegations.
years of Diddy.
There are allegations of Cuba Gooding Jr. touching this man inappropriately.
I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
I
I
like
know.
Cuba.
Wait,
I
Cuba
know.
touching who inappropriately? Or someone touching
Rodney
him?
Jones.
Cuba, oh, Lord.
I don't want to hear that. I like him.
I know. Doesn't that suck?
Is it all true, though? Or is it like,
Great question. Great question. Do we know any of it is true? No, these are allegations against Diddy.
I guess the way it's looking, though, with Diddy, it
Yes,
probably is.
there are photos. So that story about him and his son allegedly shooting someone in the bathroom. This guy, Rodney Jones, hears it and he's like, what the fuck? This is at the writer's camp, okay? This is one of the allegations. For example, there are photos of the blood in the bathroom, okay? This man's blood in the bathroom. So you cannot tell me that no one was fucking arrested. This man saw it, told the LAPD. They didn't arrest anyone.
See, this is bad though because this is way bigger than even Diddy. Then you have people on
It's
the
really bad.
force being paid off, but you're shaking the tree the whole way down. Like, oh, your chief of police is getting paid off.
I'm
and you're-
assuming
like,
that's why the
that's-
feds pulled up.
There we go.
They're like, yeah, wait, this is out of control.
local LAPD. He's in your pockets.
Yeah.
There we go.
Exactly.
He has a lot of minions. He has a lot of people around him. And listen, money.
Untouchable.
Money
He thinks he's
talks.
untouchable.
Yes. And he knows that he is untouchable, right? Another allegation is Shine went to jail for whatever, murder, attempted murder, whatever it was. And people say that Diddy actually did what Shine was accused of.
Fall guy.
Right? Yeah. He was the
that's
fall guy.
right.
And that he shows it off. This complaint says he like talks about it.
because of that is
That's
that ego
known
is
too
nuts.
culturally in the rap community. It's known.
That's known, see?
That Sean did Diddy's bit.
It really, really pisses me off because there are so many talented, amazing people out there. And then we have the likes of Diddy who controls so much of pop culture. And for what? We've heard Aubrey O'Day talking about P. Diddy for a very long time.
This is where the advances in communication and technology like really are beneficial because like if we didn't have Twitter, Instagram, having access to information, it would just really never come out. You could bury it. You could pay people off at news. Like it would just get buried most likely. You know?
Yeah, now if you put a video online in 30 minutes, the whole world could see it.
Yeah, it's just travels too fast.
Which
you
is a
know?
good thing for, like you said.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think on the opposite side of that though is, and we've seen this, misinformation, and you're guilty now immediately until proven innocent versus you're innocent until proven guilty.
And with the way everything's shared, you're kind of guilty forever.
Yeah.
Because of just the allegation of sexual abuse or rape or something like that. Even if you didn't do it, you're always associated with that.
That's very
or
true.
assault.
Or assault. Like,
I mean,
it's kind of tarnished and people may not want to work with you again strictly because it was an obligation.
Yeah.
No, it's not true.
So, okay, Cassie accuses Diddy of these things. There's no video. She has yet to file a complaint. People aren't really just taking Cassie's side. These accusations were out there for a very long time.
Do you know anything about the Jonathan Majors stuff?
Yeah. So Jonathan Majors, Marvel star, right?
Yeah.
So there were videos with that too. Him pulling her out of the car, right? And these domestic violence situations, right? They're domestic violence.
What's that considered? Pulling someone out of a car in the heat of passion, you're both drunk. Like, is that assault? Pulling your significant other out of a car?
Yeah, because he pulls her, and I think at one point she's still in the car, and you kind of see movements. Like you don't know what's going. He might be pulling her. He might be grabbing a bag. You don't know. But when you're going to court and there's a jury, they're the ones who tell you what they saw. They're the ones who tell you what you did, who tell the world what you did, right? And that was actually a very, very sad case because there are people who have been accused of doing something for decades and have done it to tons of people. Then we have someone who's very new, I think, in the celebrity world.
He was just popping off.
I like Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Like,
Yeah.
I saw that video and I was just like, he was wrong, but are we gonna like destroy his career?
But where do you draw the line? That's the problem. Where do you draw the line? If it's Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, no one ever believed Amber. So Johnny actually, his career skyrocketed kind of after all that, right? And she had evidence, just no one believed it, right? But then you have Jonathan Majors and you have this incident and you're like, fuck, it really was wrong. They're both
But he never hit her.
I don't remember if he struck her.
Because all I know is that like she was chasing after him,
Right.
And he was like running away. So you have a guy that's running away from someone chasing after you. Like I'm just like, dog, the dude was trying to run away.
Yeah. And where does it go with, you also have the Chris Brown, Rihanna stuff. We didn't know what happened till the pictures came out, but what we heard is they got into a fight. I've never thought that Rihanna was just sitting there. And of course she's yelling at him. She might be just like, stop, whatever. And then when he attacks her, she's blocking herself. That's what I imagine, right? So
But he's not in jail, right?
he didn't go to jail. He did community service.
Were they minors, both of them?
Were they minors? I do
Also,
not
that was a long time ago, right? So there's
remember.
that 3-window thing you said.
Yeah. But no, he
Year.
was, a lot of shit happened to him. And his career tanked too. He went to court, his career tanked. He did his community service, all of that. They were seen together shortly thereafter, right? Jet skiing.
I gotta look up the name of this guy.
Wasn't
Sorry.
it at Diddy's house in Miami or something? They were seen jet skiing right after
Oh, really?
the incident. Yeah,
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
You know
Sorry.
about the Ezra Miller stuff?
A little bit.
That dude, I never want to see him
He's
in a
fucking weird.
movie ever again. He threw
Yeah.
a chair at some lady in Hawaii at a restaurant, split her head open. And,
Yeah.
and
Who does that?
And he has like 8 of them. He has like 8 stories of like, there's one fan that was like, can I have an autograph? And he goes, can I spit in your face? And the person was like, if I get an autograph, he goes,
Whoa.
Did they get the autograph?
they did. But stuff like that, I'm glad there's videos because it's like, dude, you are an asshole. And there's some other person who's probably good that could take your place and have the spotlight because you're not doing a good job with the spotlight.
Man, I know it's like, I think you have to move about life knowing you are replaceable. In any
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
You could be the best actor in the world. Guess what? You're replaceable.
Well, it's an ego thing. That's the Puff Daddy. Like, I could do whatever I want. I'm untouchable. Ezra Miller, I could do whatever I want. I'm the head of Flash and the new Harry Potter series. Dude, you're just a human being.
Yeah. Do you, because I feel like nothing related to Diddy would be happening if Cassie had never filed.
I agree with you.
She gave everybody strength, especially when it was settled so quickly and everyone was like, oh, like, this is real. Like, if she would have never had the courage to do it, like, no, none of this is ever happening.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Because you see how powerful these people are. And like you mentioned, he has all the money in the world.
Yeah.
So what attorney? I mean, Cassie has money, but not Diddy money, right? And honestly, post Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, who wants to be the one representing the woman, right? Who gets shit on, even though she might have evidence, right? Everyone made fun of Amber Heard's attorneys and all that, right? So who wants to even represent her? But they're the ones who saw the evidence and they're like, let's fucking file this. Like, let's just do
The Amber
it.
Heard Depp trial worked against her.
Yeah.
Like, her career is probably in a lot more
And that
jeopardy than Depp's. Like, Depp, like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Depp. Yeah, he was
Depp got
great.
everybody like back and wanting to work with him again, like Disney, like everyone's trying to. I'm down for another Pirates though.
Oh my God, yeah.
See, that's the problem. We're so obsessed with their work. Like Diddy, I don't care. What, the Love album? Okay. Like,
Yeah.
what do I care?
That was so like self-serving.
Amber Heard's best performance was in that courtroom, and she lost.
Yeah.
I want to know, as a lawyer, do you have morals? Be like, I think you're guilty. How could I represent you? Like, how could you be Diddy's lawyer? Is it strictly a number?
No, but everybody has the right to be defended. Like, my uncle is like one of the top defense attorneys in the nation. He works for the federal government. He does like crazy, like he's defending crazy situations. But like, people have rights. And so I think you still have to like protect those rights, regardless of how terrible or unjust the situation
Go through
is.
the whole,
Yeah.
go through the process.
Yeah, and then there's people who have been charged with injustice that actually, in reality, they're innocent.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of part of the beauty of it, I guess. But
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
anyone who's in jail right now for weed should not be in jail. Because now
Yeah.
it's legal. Why are people still in jail that were accused of having weed on them 20 years ago and they're still in prison forever?
Yeah. I
How
mean,
is
a
that
lot of
not a
those are
thing?
a lot of those are getting reversed.
It takes time.
And they
Getting
should.
reversed?
And they should.
I think the problem is, I guess, especially on the war on drug
Mm-hmm.
situation, is like it's too late now, the reversal. Because like a lot of people don't go in criminals, they're criminals now.
Yeah.
Like, prison's gonna make you a criminal.
Yes. And what does it matter? You've been in for what, 20 years? Okay, great. You're letting me out now. Like, imagine having gone to jail 20 years ago. You come out, all this social media, these
Would be
crazy
terrible.
phones, all this crazy shit. Like, we have robots bringing us food, right? On the streets, they're just like walking around, rolling around, whatever.
Like, yeah,
like,
put me back in there.
Put
I
me
don't wanna
back in
be here.
there. What is this?
You got random cars picking you up. Like,
I saw a car the other day. There was no one in it driving.
oh
Yep.
yeah, the white ones.
I was like,
Yeah,
what
the
the
cameras.
fuck? Say that crashes into someone. Who's liable? The company?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
went in, you
Yeah.
went in, like into prison in like 2000, really before cell phones, and like you coming out now, you're like, yo,
It's the movie with Wesley Snipes.
which one?
With him and Sylvester Stallone, Demolition Man.
Oh, Demolition Man,
Wesley
yeah.
Snipes goes to prison in the 80s.
Yeah, it's like Demolition
And then he
Man.
comes out and he's like, there's no toilet paper. There's like the shells
Yeah,
and stuff. He goes, where's the toilet paper? This guy doesn't know about the shells.
yeah, they're having like sex like through VR. They're
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
like,
that's hilarious.
If you went to jail in the 90s and came out right now, you'd be like, whoa.
but I think you go to prison, like you got to become a criminal. Like you got to think like one because if
survive.
if you don't, man, you're in the infirmary.
I
Yeah.
want your take. There's this guy. He was I think the Atlanta Falcons gave him like a 1 week contract or a 1 year contract when he got out of prison. He was accused of rape in college, was one of the top prospects ever, and was accused of rape, went to prison. 15 years later, the girl's like, I lied. And they
Oh,
let him
God,
out.
I remember
How
this.
does she not go to prison? And also, like, you stole his life. He could have been in the pros. He could have made mad money. Instead, he was in prison forever. He gets out. He's too old to play professional football now. She should have to, one, do prison time, and the court should pay him $1 million a year for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I think he got.
What's the
I think
legality with that?
I think he got some type of monetary.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. What does that do?
What buys you
know?
15 years?
Nothing. Man.
150 mil. Let me live like a king for the rest of my fucking life. I think that should be a thing. If you're wrongly accused and you're doing a year, there should be 10 mil per year.
Lifetime therapy.
Like
for
that guy,
sure.
like you stole his whole life.
Yeah, he'll
And
never
that-
be a 20-something-year-old living in the world.
No.
Yeah.
That's gone.
And
He'll
what
never
about
be a
the girl?
30-something.
Where's the accountability on the girl?
Fuck her.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. These types of stories
I
really
lied.
kill me. Yeah.
I lied. My bad. Just ruined this guy's life. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why like the access to information and it moving so quickly, it's harder. There's so many benefits to it, but there's also so many like things where it makes it harder to know what's real, what's not. And it's like everyone's kind of more associated with being guilty now off the bat. And so it's a very interesting time we live in. The information age is an interesting time.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. And when you brought up the who would represent these people, when you're talking about criminal court, you have the DAs prosecuting, right? They have to take whatever case is given to them. Then you have the public defenders, right? So I don't know if that player had a private attorney that he hired to defend him or that he used the public defenders that were available to him at that time. I don't know, but the caliber of attorney, right, also has something to do with whether you're going to prison or not, especially in the criminal justice system, because you can say all day long, I didn't do it, go find this evidence, that evidence exists, put it all together, you will see it's so obvious I didn't do it, right? But if the attorney doesn't present it in a way that the jury is convinced, right? That's the gamble. That's the risk. You have a jury of your peers. They're not listening the whole time. You guys think that the jury in Johnny Depp's case for 6 weeks, they listened to every single word that came out of every witness's mouth?
Really
No.
not an efficient. It's really not an efficient way to like.
It's really not.
Don't put me on that. I get jury duty stuff all the time.
And
If you're seeing this, don't come at me. I just never go.
You should go.
My boy pleaded like insanity when they asked him. He had like no, like because you can get out. You can get out of being a juror.
Oh, I thought you meant he did something horrible. Okay,
No.
I got you.
So he just like
He insanity.
Got out of it.
no. He told the judge, he goes, I'm not mentally fit because like. He was in a situation where his business would be in monster trouble if he wasn't present. And the court didn't care. And he's like, I'm insane. And like, he eventually got out of it. But I mean, it's a commitment. You can't really have your phone. You can't talk to family, especially if it's a high profile case. Like, you're kind of fucked.
That's when you just like, Your Honor, I'm super prejudiced.
Yeah, I mean, you hear people do that all the time.
Yeah, speaking of, I have my own opinions about this, but speaking of a fucked up jury, you have OJ. And
kind of clearly did it, right?
That's what I want to ask. Because, like, listen, did OJ do it? Because there's just no way. I just like, this guy is too dumb for it not to have come out. Like, how could he have gotten away with it? How would he have not slipped up and just said it? Like, he's just too dumb. Even like post-death now, nothing has appeared. There's no like journal, no hand. Like,
speaking of misinformation, I saw a tweet and someone said OJ just died. Look at his last tweet, and it was a fake account. It said, "I did it."
No.
And I was like, OJ, you should have given us that.
I just
die.
figured like over
me.
a course of 30 years, it would have found its way. Because he's just too dumb. Like, you see him, his interviews, the guy is not all there.
You don't
the
think he was like Diddy
like
planned
something
out?
would have slipped up. He would have been like drunk on a random Vegas night. Would have came out
With a little recording of someone.
Absolutely. Did
Do
he
you
do
think
it?
maybe no?
I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
So I truly believe that he did it or had something to do with it. One of the most popular theories is that his son did it, right? And remember, this happened way before social media. This happened with very, very powerful attorneys as well. So who knows the shit that they buried once this story was about to come out and was.
He had like the most powerful lawyer in the world.
The most powerful lawyers in the world. Like, he had a crazy ass team.
Kardashian's dad, Johnny
yes,
Cochran.
Yes,
like,
yes, Shapiro. Like, everyone who was everyone. Okay?
All represented him.
Yes.
And then also you have to understand, like, culturally.
There we
like,
go. Yes.
OJ had the backing of like an entire culture. Like, if you're a black, brown person of color, like, you were behind OJ. I saw this interview about how it was the first time, because it was like white people versus black people. Like, it really was. Like, that courtroom, when that thing came out, there was two sides. And it was like the first time black people felt like they got to win because of all the injustices that they've endured.
That's like in the same time as like the Rodney King stuff, right? Similar era.
Yeah, relatively similar
Right?
era.
LA
Yeah.
was just like
Exactly.
on fire.
Yes,
LA was on fire. Black people, it's such a triggering time for people of color. And there has been so much injustice to people of color. And this is like the first time they felt like they got to win. And it's
And
interesting.
that's their win.
But then you like go to Trayvon Martin, right? And like, how does that fucking asshole not go to jail, dude? And I remember, I'll never forget, I literally almost punched the dude. I swear to God, I'll never forget this. I was at Prime Grill at like a restaurant in Orlando, and the jury, it was coming out, the verdict was coming out through the jury. And I remember him getting off, and the white guy next to me started cheering. And I'll never forget like that moment, because I literally like, I was so close to like going to jail. Like, I was so close to going to jail. Like, I was absolutely about to
You
cause
just
a
wanted
fight.
to rock the
I
dude.
wanted to rock his ass. I
Yeah.
wanted to knock him out.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, bro, like this grown ass man just killed a kid.
Yeah, like we know he killed the kid.
He was minding his business.
We know that.
He was minding his
And
business,
this
dude.
dude's cheering.
Yeah, I was like, the kid was buying Skittles at a grocery store. Like what the? And then it turned into this whole thing with the hoodie up. Like, it just turned this whole ridiculous nonsense versus like what actually like happened.
Covering up a murder.
It was awful. But that's my point. That Trayvon Martin situation had been happening for years and 20, 30, hundreds of years. So yeah, it built up. Like the community behind OJ, like that was a long time coming for as terrible as the situation was. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying that's how people felt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're exactly right. A lot of it was politics. A lot of it was the jurors were scared to convict him because then what happens to them?
Correct.
Right? What happens to them? And this was a case of politics and power players when it comes to attorneys and this powerful, famous athlete, right? If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. I mean, holy motherfuck. Why did you have him try that glove on?
Is there like a marketing team behind this too? Like, if the glove don't fit, he didn't, like, there's people behind with the lawyers are like, wait, we need a jingle. We need something that people can say over and over.
We like, think we're a lot more clever than we are, but sometimes things we come up with, they stick. So if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. I mean, listen, give me a glove right now. I could make it not fit me. You're asking the criminal defendant to try on a glove, and if it doesn't fit him, that's huge evidence that he didn't do it. Why are you handing that to him?
What?
What are you doing?
It's pretty wild.
It was a wild time, dude. I mean, it's crazy. Is there something particular people are asking you of the most, or something that blew up that
Great
you've
question,
covered
yeah.
the most?
So people come to me now with any legal issue that's going on in the world, right? So they want me to cover murders. They want me to cover everyone's divorce. They want me to cover everyone's breakup. I like to talk about shit that I know. So I really like when the divorces are happening and all of that. Like for Kim and Kanye, no one knew what was going on. And I say this very confidently. No one knew anything about a bifurcation in the legal system when it comes to divorce until I put that out there and it became a huge thing, right? So Kim and Kanye, they were getting divorced just in that their status as married people was being dissolved, but they still had issues of custody. They still had issues of the assets, all of that. But once I really delved into this means, this word, this concept in the legal world means this in the real world, right? Like I take a lot of the legal jargon out of things. I think a lot of people now are like, what does this mean? Or during the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing, they're like, what does that objection mean? What does this mean? They just want to know because it's very interesting to them, right? So any cases now that we have on court TV that are going on, I'm always asked about them, but I truly try not to talk about anything I don't know anything about.
Well, that's the nice thing about the videos you make and your information is you are a lawyer. You know what you're talking about compared to most people online. You can't just Google a law and then know it, you know?
I think not my issue, but I get like something public facing. Like, why are people so interested in other people's fucking business? Like divorce, like it's not your fucking business, bro.
Yeah.
Like people are obsessed. I get people hitting you up. I understand. Like we're in this like weird time of just like obsessed over other people's lives.
Yeah, and for you, like give the people what they want, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
for
of
me,
course,
I'm
of
nosy
course.
and
No,
interested,
of
and
course.
apparently a lot of other people are nosy and interested.
Oh, do you think it's because like they don't have enough going on in their own life, or they idolize those people?
I think
any
they
part of
wanna-
it they feel connected.
It's a good question. I think they want to get away from their own life, right? So when you see the Diddy apology video, it triggers something in you where it's like, I fucking knew he was a liar. Reminds me of my ex. Right? Or you have the
Reminds me of my ex.
people who are saying, you've never done anything horrible in your life. You need to give people second chances. And it's like,
Only God can judge him.
Only God
the
can
comment
judge
section
him.
is like, you guys
First of
not
all-
do anything during the
But
day?
first of all, the fact that he left his comments on, I'm like, bro, like
I
what?
noticed that too.
oh, that's open range.
All of his comments are on.
I think that just shows you how big his ego is. That he left those fucking comments on. That has to all do with your ego.
It all has to do with your ego.
Do you think he's at home just reading them? This person believes me. This person believes me. Diddy Army.
Psycho's probably over there like jerking to his
Yeah.
Well, speaking of finishing,
Oh my God.
Sorry, I didn't
All
wanna end
right.
it on
that.
No,
Well
you're good.
Well said. good. Well timed.
That was amazing. Brilliant.
Thank you so much for
That was
coming
fun.
on.
Thank
We
you
had
so
a
much
blast.
for
gotta-
having me.
learned a lot.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
It's
Thank
very
you.
informative. If there's
Thank
more
you.
stuff coming on, we'll have to have you back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
dive into the juicy news.
Let me know.
It's always going to be more stuff to talk about.
Always.
Like you're in an
Yeah.
industry where there's always going to be something happening at all times.
100%. Next week
Yeah.
we'll have another Diddy video. I'm sure we'll have another Kendrick, Drake diss track, something like that.
I would
Well,
imagine.
yeah.
Do you? Oh, I guess my last question is: will there be a waterfall effect? I guess I don't want to necessarily go back to Diddy, but will there be a waterfall effect of videos and information? Do you think leaking?
I hope.
Yeah, I would
hope.
imagine like this won't be the last video we see.
I hope not.
I'd be shocked if it was.
No, it'll be a ripple effect, I feel
Yeah.
like. Does he end up in jail?
Does Diddy end up in jail?
Or dead?
Diddy ends up in the Bahamas and we never see him again.
Agreed. He's got too much money, too much power. Like he's not going to
Bahamas.
prison.
That's wild. Well, thank you so much for being
You're
here.
so
Thank you.
welcome. You're so
Again, if you're
welcome.
listening to this, please click the link down below to watch the full video. You can only do that on our Patreon. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of In Good Company.
If you're enjoying this show, it would mean the world to us if you left a 5-star review. You know we love 5-star reviews, and subscribe to the pod.
This is a reminder, if you want to watch our episodes, you can do so only by subscribing to our Patreon, where you also get access to the menu and some fun announcements we have coming up.
And don't forget,
The only thing better than good food is good company.